necessary for parents to actually ship their children back home. And when I say back home, I mean, if you're Nigerian, you know you're going to Nigeria. If you're Ghanaian, you're going to Ghana. If you're from the Caribbean, you know you're going back there. Okay, it's really, I actually think it's really necessary, and at some point it actually is justified. Now, yesterday I saw this comment by a girl saying how she doesn't understand why any parent would want to send their child back home, and that's lazy parenting. And I'm going to give my 2 cents on it, because this has been around for decades. When I say decades, like I've known about this, you're being shipped back home for a long time. Sometimes it gets to the point where a child misbehaves to the point it's like uncontrollable. Like when I say misbehave, it's not like little petty things, it's big issues. Like either this child has been mingling with people they shouldn't be mingling with, they're now, you know, dropping out of school, they're now doing all sorts of things that is actually going to endanger them as a person and their future. It's time for you as a parent to start thinking of taking them back home. Like when a child gets to the point they cannot be controlled, I'm sorry, like sometimes we actually need to learn how to drop the chit chat and take actions. Is necessary. Let me explain to you what this, when you get sent back home, what it does to you. First of all, when a child is sent back home, they are immediately humbled. And when you get sent back home, you realize that there is a humble beginning. There is a humble beginning where all the luxuries that your parents have provided you, you are now taking them for granted. When you get sent back home, as soon as you land in the airport, that's when you realize you were actually living a comfortable life. So that immediately just calms you down. Like your brain is already starting to reset, because you're like, oh, like, wow, this is different. Number 2, the fact that, you know, when they say it takes a village to raise a child, there is a whole village there that's ready to raise you. If you don't want to be raised properly, they're there to raise you. And it's not even like you're getting the work and shipping it to someone else. You're actively making sure that this person learns culture, value, morals, like respect, like, you know, discipline, like making sure that you're not getting involved in stupidity when you're back home. So if you're a parent and your child has gotten to the point where you as a parent that birthed them cannot control them, and I'm speaking as a nurse, as someone that loves children, that loves family, that's all for, you know, unity, send your child back home. Send them back home. It's not difficult. Get a ticket, put them in a boarding school back home. That's it.
We all know Africa is a land of morals, land of discipline, land of culture, land of love, and all of that. But this thing of sending your children back home to be disciplined, to learn morals and stuff like that, I don't understand that thing. I don't get it. Like, you were born in Africa, you learned the morals, you were disciplined and all of that. Why can't you give that thing to your child? Why can't you discipline your child? Why can't you tell your child why it's wrong and what's right? Why do you wait for people to discipline your child? Why do you put your child on a plane, send her back home to be disciplined? You make it sound like Africa is a land, is a prison, is where she's gonna be sentenced. And actually you be freaking out, like, if you do this, I'm gonna send you to Africa. If you act like this, I'm gonna send you to Africa. Then high in her, she's like, Africa is a bad place. Africa is where they're gonna send me to prison. Africa is not good. Like, she be doing things and she be like, oh my god, if I do this, mommy is gonna send me to Africa. You make it sound like that, and I don't get it. I don't actually get it. Someone has to be sent to Africa so that she will interact. You know, she will interact with the natives. And she will learn culture, stuff like that. Come to Africa for vacation. Feel free. No sending a child like to Africa because she be acting ish. She be mingling with bad people. She started using drugs. Like, she dropped out of school. Then you bring him or her to Africa to learn morals. Why can't you teach your child the morals? You were taught morals in Africa before you went there in the States. Now, I don't understand. When you went there in the States, your morals also changed. You ain't got morals no more to teach your child. Why are you sending your child to us to teach her morals? Can't you teach your child morals? Can you teach your child to be disciplined? Can't you? I don't understand that thing. You make children feel like when they come to Africa, Africa is a bad place. Here she's gonna be sentenced. Like when she come here, she gonna be mistreated. You even threaten them. Now you're there now saying when your child is she or she ain't got morals, you have to send her back to Africa so that he will learn the morals, he will be disciplined to the core. What is it that you can't give to your child? You learned all the things before you went there. Did anything change when you went there? We understand that if you discipline your child, maybe you hit your child, or she can call the police on you and stuff like that. Then why do you make it that way? You gonna set rules for your house. When you step into your house, you better set rules. You tell that child when you step into this house, it's an African home. You better act African when you inside your house with your child. Teach her morals. Don't send her here first to teach them morals, to teach them to be disciplined. You weren't even asked to teach your child to be disciplined. Because we Africans. You also African. What changed when you went there? Only you got a passport of the states and stuff like that, but nothing changed. You're still African. You're still black. Well, as I told you earlier, that Africa is a land of love, it's a land of discipline, it's a land of morals and all of that. Africans are so disciplined. Actually, Africans can shape you to the core. I'm telling you. You misbehave in school, your teachers shape you. You misbehave in the community shapes you. They bring you back to your family complaining, and also your parents shape you. Africa is a good land, I'm telling you. It's a very nice place. When it comes to discipline, those people know how to teach their children discipline. And that's one thing for sure. So if you grew up in Africa, you can tell me that you can't teach your land discipline and morals. That's very wrong. Well, here I got a clip of this man, and actually he's telling you about Africa as well.
5 different countries in Africa. I've lived in Malawi, Botswana, Zambia, Morocco, and Nigeria. I have also travelled extensively in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Egypt. Never once in all my years of living or travelling on the African continent have I been mistreated in any way because of my ethnicity, because of my skin colour. And this is in spite of the fact that I come from a country who are guilty for some of the worst colonial crimes ever inflicted throughout human history. That's right, I was born in Great Britain. And without doubt, the British and the French committed the greatest atrocities across the continent of Africa. The Belgians have a good claim for the greatest atrocity in their treatment of the Congolese, but if one looks at it as an entity and the number of countries that were invaded by the British and French colonialists, one will see that they are the worst protagonists. Despite this, and despite the behavior of my ancestors, I have never been mistreated. In fact, I have been welcomed warmly in all of the countries I have lived in or visited. And when in Africa, I don't cocoon myself in some enclave dome which is inhabited by people who like to refer to themselves as expats. I hate that term. But no, I integrate as much as possible within local society. I will go to a shebeen. I will go to any compound and experience life as it is for people in the country where I am based. So whether that's in the village, whether it's in the township, whether it's in the local bar, I will integrate, I will mix, and I am always made welcome. Now contrast that with the way many Africans are treated when they choose to live.
No, well, you've had that. You've also seen it. What should I say now? You've had it all. Like, Africa is a nice place. We are so welcoming, disciplined, loving, and we are cultured. That's it. That's what's up with Africa. It's such a beautiful land, a beautiful continent. Well, I've been your girl Venice Girl Vibes, aka V. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and leave in a comment about this video. Love you, and I will see you next time. Bye.